Gotta get your arms way up in a cast and set the hook on smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. Gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a G-loop that's right. I bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck, give it a whirl. Hello, welcome to my world.
What's going on, YouTube and Facebook Live? Welcome to another episode of On Another Line Live. My name is Tyler Waller. I will be your flight attendant for the episode that we're going to be talking about some fishing today. Myself, my dad, and Dusty Smith Jr. went to Lake St. Clair for a 5-day, actually a 7-day, fish smashdown between Lake St. Clair and Lake Erie. Went with Captain Chuck Dotson and Captain Scott Mowry of Get Hooked Charters. But we're going to be talking about that trip on this episode, talking about how we caught them on both locations. We're also going to talk about the 2021 Bassmaster Classic, talking about the Super Bowl bass fishing. This is the greatest event on the planet. If you are a bass fisherman, you know anything about the Bassmaster Classic. Everybody knows about it. If you're a bass fisherman, it is the holy grail. It is the absolute pinnacle of the sport. If you're fishing the Bassmaster Classic, you are the who's who of the bass fishing industry for that year. There's several ways to make the Bassmaster Classic. We're going to look at that as we go on, and I'm going to have you guys choose your favorite angler for the 2021 fishing or the Bassmaster Classic. And if you win, I'm going to send you guys some JBs Fish Sauce, pinch of garlic. If you guess the correct angler that wins the 2021 Bassmaster Classic at Lake Ray Roberts. What's up, Corey? What's going on, buddy? Man, we're going to talk about our episode or talk about our fishing trip on this episode, but it was an absolute wild ride. I apologize right now for the lack of content on the YouTube channel. I've been out of town for a solid week. School the week before that was getting crazy, getting wound down. I'm now out for the summer. So you're going to see a lot more content coming from that. I have about 3 episodes of content, coming up in the next few days, and that's going to be 3.5 days of Lake St. Clair fishing with my dad and Dusty Smith Jr., and you're going to see 3 solid days of walleye fishing, trolling for walleye on another episode. And then again, we're going to talk about the Bassmaster Classic, and again, I'm going to run a little thing here. If you guys drop a comment later on and tell me who you think is going to win the 2021 Bassmaster Classic at Lake Ray Roberts, if you choose the correct angler that wins, I'm going to send you guys some JB's Fish Sauce, pinch of garlic on my dime. So definitely stay tuned for that. So we left on Memorial Day. And first off, you guys saw the last episode I was talking about. I want to give a shout out to the men and women that are out there protecting my freedom on, doing what they do as far as being in the military, because they're doing something that I could not. And Memorial Day for me is in remembrance of those people that have paid the ultimate sacrifice to allow me to be free and do what I want. So we went to Lake St. Clair, left Memorial Day at 8 o'clock in the morning, drove up to St. Clair, got there about 3:30 in the afternoon, put the boat in the water, stayed at Ken's Marine, or Ken's Gas Dock is what it's called there in Roseville, Michigan. Ken and Ann and the people there that work at that place are phenomenal guys. If you guys want to get a boat slip on Lake St. Clair and you want to get some really, really great grub, they cook burgers and stuff there. And from what I understand, Ken has a small Angus farm that he raises his own cattle, has the cows butchered, and then he fixes burgers on a grill there, him and Ann, and they actually get everything ready for you. There's a bunch of stuff. They're like $5 a piece. Great quality burger, and they fix them all day, every day, as far as I know. But we got there on Monday about 3:30, put the boat in the water at 9 Mile Ramp. I went over, and it was weird, man. There was so much boat traffic because it's Memorial Day. That's the way it goes. What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining in tonight. So we went, and I drove from 9 Mile to Ken's Gas Dock, which is literally like less than a mile. And there was so much boat traffic from those giant yachts out on St. Clair that I had actually taken a boat or a wave over the front of my boat. Like within the first 5 minutes of being there, got all my carpet wet and all that stuff, but it's all good. We ended up going out for the first day, catching 10 to 12 smallmouth. We were only out there for a couple hours. We stayed at a new hotel, and being in the outskirts of Detroit, I didn't want to go in there after dark because I'd never stayed at that hotel before. I wanted to scope out the scene, make sure everything was legit before we went in there. However, the hotel we stayed at was a Hampton Inn in Roseville, Michigan. Super nice place. The people there that work at that place are super friendly. Made me feel right at home. The place was super clean. It was in a decent area. Didn't have to worry about any of my stuff out there. So if you're looking for a hotel there in the Roseville area, the Hampton Inn is where it's at. But we went back to the hotel room, got up, fished the next couple days, and we fished again half of Monday, all of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then left to St. Clair on Thursday and fished with Get Hook Charters on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for walleye. It was a great trip. We had an amazing time. You guys will be seeing many videos coming up about on the YouTube channel about that. And again, it's going to take me a couple days because I have so much footage to go through. But we caught them at Lake St. Clair basically on 2 different baits, and that's all I threw the entirety of the week. One of those was a Ned rig. Obviously, I don't have the bait right now, but this is a Ned head. This is a lead head that I poured myself. This is a 1/4 ounce lead head. I do powder paint them. I use a green pumpkin, black, and a vein collar of copper and black. I always use the 1/4 ounce. This is the biggest one that my mold will actually mold is a 1/4 ounce. You guys heard on the last episode that was live, I told you guys between me and Kyle, we were catching fish on the beds, and he absolutely smoked me one day, and he was using a 1/16 ounce heavier head. You can see the one that's over here by my pinky. That's a 3/16, and then this one here is a 1/4 ounce. You can't tell much of a difference, but I'm telling you, it caused him to actually wax me when it comes to catching fish. He caught 30. I caught 8. Just wasn't staying on the bottom. So my favorite Ned or the TRD worm by Z-Man is a pink one for smallmouth. For some odd reason, pink absolutely it just drives them nuts. And again, scientists say that fish can't really see collars. They see different shades and shadows and hues, but they don't see actual collars like you and I do. And I think that maybe that bright pink may look white or really light to them. Who knows? But they seem to eat it. And Kyle started using a green pumpkin and chartreuse TRD worm when we were up there bed fishing. And I had a couple bags of them that I bought previously. And Dusty started throwing that worm. It was a green, it's a chartreuse with green pumpkin, basically split down the middle, and he was waxing them too, man. We caught 104 smallmouth in 4.5 days, that's not St. Clair at its finest. However, we caught some absolutely hammer smallmouth this trip. Dusty caught one that was a little over 5 pounds. My biggest one was like 4.8, 4.9. My dad ended up catching one. The 50th fish we caught on Thursday was like 4 pounds, 6 ounces or something. That's his PB. Dusty managed to catch his PB, which is 5.03 at this point. And I introduced these guys to Lake St. Clair for the first time. My dad is 67 years old. Put him through an 8-day ringer of nothing but fishing, going up, staying in a hotel in St. Clair, and absolutely catching the crap out of some walleye to eat in Lake Erie. But it was an amazing trip, man. We absolutely had a great time. You guys will be seeing some videos coming up with that again on the YouTube channel. Probably tomorrow evening we'll be releasing one. That'll be from the day 1 of Lake St. Clair. And then I'm going to smash day 2 and 3 together because we didn't catch a ton on day 3. We caught 15 fish altogether. It was rainy and overcast. And for some reason, I don't know what it is about Lake St. Clair bass. They like to eat when it's sunny more than they do overcast. It's weird. Largemouth and southern bass down here, when you look at my area in southern Ohio, fish seem to eat on low pressure days. It's going to be overcast. You're going to see less sun. Smallmouth and largemouth in my area eat better during those times. However, in my experience, over the past 4 or 5 years of fishing Lake St. Clair, if it's overcast, it just seems like I don't catch as many fish as I would if it's full sun, bluebird skies. It seems like they eat better up there. I don't know what that is about that, but it definitely holds true. Ended up finding a new hammer hole this time going up there. Found a giant rock flat that I didn't even know was on St. Clair. I'd seen people fishing before. I had no clue why they were fishing it. rolled in there and absolutely started smashing fish because I saw the bottom of the water is nothing but a big cobble field. It was just fish everywhere. We were catching fish in 3 different stages of the spawn. We were getting those pre-spawn fish that were just pulling up. Water temperature was about 63 degrees, somewhere in there. Fish were pulling up to spawn. You had those spawning fish that were actually on the bed. We would catch some of those male fish that were, whoa, golly, I'm sorry guys, I don't know what's up with that. But we catch some of those spawning fish. We'd catch the bucks that were on the bed guarding them. Casting, wasn't really trying to fish beds this time of year because I don't have spot lock. If I had spot lock, I'd go to a bed, spot lock, catch the fish off the bed, release it, goes right back down on the bed, none the wiser. However, with the way wind blows in St. Clair and the way the current moves you, if you catch a fish off a bed, by the time you actually put the fish back in the water, you could be a quarter of a mile away from their bed. So I don't like to try to do that. Strix Marine Plus, what's up, Aaron Strickland? What's going on, buddy? Best brown fish lake on the earth. You are 100% correct from that. I saw Bradley Saunders post something that absolutely floored me the other day. He is in Lake Michigan there in Traverse City, which is the lower arm of the Traverse Bay, which is a arm of Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan is like 600 foot deep at its deepest. Said that they were fishing, him and his son were out fishing, and they caught a lot of fish one day. Water temperature was about 60, 61-ish. The next day when they were heading home, they went out for a while to try to catch some fish before they left. The water temperature had dropped from 60 to 61 down to like 43 degrees overnight, and they didn't manage to catch a single fish. Absolutely blew my mind. Then I got to thinking about it. What changed there? How come the weather, how did that water change so drastically overnight? Because you're talking like freezing conditions for weeks around here to get the water temperature to drop that much after, over that period of time. Then I started thinking about the photo that I shared on my YouTube page or on my Facebook page the other day that showed the levels of the Great Lakes. And again, like I said, Lake Michigan is like 590 some foot at its deepest, which is huge. It's super deep. And that deep is actually, the deepest part of Lake Michigan is actually below sea level, which is crazy to me. So it's a big, giant, cavernous lake. And if you think about it, even at 100 degrees up there, it would take a long time for that 500 foot of water to become 60 degrees, 70 degrees. So I assume what happened is that the wind probably changed, or the lake turned over somehow, I don't know, and brought that really cold water from the depths of Lake Michigan up into the shallows of Traverse Bay. And you have that now 20-degree water temperature change, which is crazy to me. Crazy. All right, so again, what we're going to do over this show is we're going to talk about the Bassmaster Classic, and we're going to talk about who you think is going to win the Bassmaster Classic coming up next weekend. That is Lake Ray Roberts in Fort Worth, Texas, June 11th through the 13th, which again is coming up this week. I saw that Matt Robertson had said he had a decent practice, but his comment this morning on his video said that he had caught enough fish to have some hope, but didn't do as good. He didn't do good enough to actually have hope, which I can understand that 100%. So I don't know, we got, the field there's a ton of anglers here. You got to go look at it, but let's just share this screen here and we'll take a look at who's actually going to be in this thing. Of course, we got Hank Cherry, who is the 2020 Bassmaster Elite Series. He actually qualified via the Elite Series, and he won the 2020 Bassmaster Classic in Gunnersville. Clark Winland, David Mullins, Patrick Walters, Brock Mosley, Jake Whitaker, Scott Canterbury. Funny story. I was down at the Bassmaster Classic in, let's see, where was it? It was down in Tennessee. Let's see. Kyle Maddox, what's up, brother, man? Glad to see you made it on a live. Seth Fighter, dude, he's one of my favorites too. And you get him and Matt Robertson together, they're an absolute hoot. But I was down at the Bassmaster Classic when they fished the Tennessee River when Ott Defoe won it. I was standing there to take off, and I hear this guy talking about a dude that he went by that caught a 10-pounder at Chickamauga. He said, I was pre-fishing there. Guy catches a 10-pounder after I'd already fished an area. He goes there and catches a 10-pounder. And then it hits me. I was like, man, I bet that was – we just talked about Bradley Saunders a second ago. So I bet that was Bradley Saunders. So I was like, hey, man, I don't mean to interrupt and join into your conversation, without being asked to, but that guy – wouldn't be this guy, would? And I showed him a picture of it. He's like, yeah, man, that's the fish. He said, it's a small world. I was like, yeah, that's my buddy. He lives close to where I'm at. He was like, yeah, it was a really cool story. He said he said, yeah, he's like, he went around me, it wasn't nothing like he was trying to fish my spot or nothing. He said, he gave way to me around and went around me. And he said, casted like 40, 50 yards behind my boat and caught a 10-pounder. He said, I ended up weighing a fish for him. But that person that I was talking to, Scott Canterbury. So Scott Canterbury is in there. Let's see. Who else we have? Austin Felix. If I'm not mistaken, Corey, if you're still on here, do you guys still sponsor Austin? He's from out there in Minnesota. I know he was sponsored by JBs Fish Sauce for a while. I don't know if he still is or not. Stetson Blaylock, Brandon Polinick. I'm going to be working over the next few months to try to get Brandon Polinick on the show. He's a guy that I always wanted to interview, talk about fishing, and get his perspective because, he's a hammer. He started out basically from nowhere and now is catching fish, and this is his 10th Bassmaster Classic, which is crazy. Kyle Welcher, Bloody Gross, Seth Fighter, as we were just talking about a second ago, Lilama, Hunter Shryock, Steve Kennedy, Frank Talley, Corey Johnston, John Cox, the mullet. I wonder if he ever got his catalytic converter fixed. Drew Cook from Midway, Florida. Todd Otten. Zal Dangerous. Chris Zaldane. Matt Airy. Chad Morgenthaler. Taku Ito. Jamie Hartman. Brandon Lester. I read an article today on Bassmaster.com that he thinks that there'll be 3 baits that win the Bassmaster Classic, and it's pretty cool that he has an unbiased opinion because he doesn't have a lure sponsor. So he says a deep crankbait he said that's going to be the last bait that may come into play. He thinks that a big creature bait and a jig, 5/8 ounce jig, and a big creature bait like a brush hog or something like that, he thinks is going to be a major player in the Lake Ray Roberts Bassmaster Classic coming up next weekend. Clint Davis from Alabama again, Matt Herron, Asheville, Alabama. Brad Watley, Luke Palmer, Jeff Gustafson, Gussie, member of the G. Loomis Shimano fam. So really rooting for Gussie there. Paul Mueller, Ed Lauren. I hope I'm saying that right. Lauren. I think this dude right here is actually a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken, and he fishes on the weekends in the Elite Series, which is pretty cool. Chris Johnston, Brandon Card, Salisbury, North Carolina. Micah Frazier from Georgia. Chad Pipkins from Michigan. Jason Williamson, South Carolina. Drew Benton from Georgia. Bill Lowen from Brookville, Indiana. So actually where I bought my boat from, Brookville, Indiana. Brandon Cobb, South Carolina. Shane LeHue. Brian New. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Matt Robertson. On him. A lot of guys ask me where I get the hats from and say on him. This his signature hat. You can see him wearing it right here in this photograph. I did look on his website because I wanted to buy a couple more of them the other day, and it says they're back ordered for months. So I don't know what's up with that. I haven't had an opportunity to talk to him. I don't want to bother him right now. I know he's got a lot of stuff going on. He's pre-fishing for the Bassmaster Classic. He qualified by winning the Eastern Open in Lake Cherokee Lake. Keith Carson from Florida. Man, I don't even want to try to pronounce this dude's name. Masayuki Matsushita, I think. I've never heard of that guy before in my life. So he qualified the Bassmaster Central Open, Sam Rayburn. So he fished Sam Rayburn down there around Texas, so he may have a decent chance there. Cody Bird from Texas, so he won the Neely Henry to get in there, Neely Henry event. Chris Jones, Central Open, Arkansas River. Tommy Williams from Shepherdsville, Kentucky, won the Open at Louisville Lake. Pat Schlapper, Pickwick Lake, winner of the Open. Blake Sylvester, 2021 TNT Fireworks Bass Nation champion at Pickwick Lake. Justin Kerr from Havasu, Arizona. Trevor McKinney, that's the college classic bracket. Jordan Wiggins. So, again, we'll have about 6 people right now live. But if you guys want to choose, just drop a comment who you think is going to win the Bassmaster Classic. And Kyle, if you want to go with Seth Fighter, that's cool. If not, you want to drop another name down there, you can. If you guys choose, we're going to do this over the next couple. I'm going to, do some live giveaways or some giveaways on Facebook and YouTube both. If you guys comment on there. Again, if anybody guesses the right Bassmaster Classic winner, I'm going to send you guys some JBs Fish Sauce on me. I'll send it to you there. No cost to you guys. Only you got to do is guess the right angler for the 2021 Bassmaster Classic. I personally have a hard time, with that. I'm pulling for Matt Robertson. The dude is a hammer. He's a super hilarious dude. The guy is amazing. Look at Dusty Smith coming in there. He thinks Stetson Blaylock's going to win it. Potentially has a great chance. Is this the year that an Opens winner wins it? Is this the year a college guy wins it? Who knows? I mean, if you notice here, though, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Of course, Polnick came back over. Was really hoping to see G-Man make the Classic this year, but he did not because he just now, I guess he didn't make the Angler of the Year points to make the Classic, and he didn't win any Angler or the Elite Series events to make it to the Bassmaster Classic. I'm really hoping he gets back in there over the next couple of years. And he's one of those guys that I always enjoy watching at the events. I dropped that JB's Fish Sauce lid, and it just reminded me that I want to talk to you guys about something I'm super pumped up about, and that is I finally got my hands on a G Loomis NRX Plus. I have an 822 shaky head rod, which is a mag medium rod, 6 foot 10 inch spinning rod. We're gonna take a look at this thing in just a second. It's not going to be the greatest quality because it's live. I'll be doing a full video on this rod as we go. But this is a G Loomis NRX Plus 822S SYR, which is a shaky head rod. You're getting a CI4 Plus carbon infused reel seat, super high quality cork coming from the Loomis Spiral X edition to the NRX blank. You're going to have you still have the titanium recoil guides, which a lot of people don't like. For me, I think they're a seller for me. They're a major selling point for the NRX rod line. Again, this makes the 4th NRX rod that I own. This is obviously an NRX Plus. I had a lot of questions over the last couple weeks on my YouTube channel. What's going to happen to the old NRX series? I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to be discontinued after they sell them out. There was no reason to have the standard NRX when they have an NRX Plus line out right now. I was telling Dusty yesterday, or maybe today, I can't remember when I messaged him, but this thing right here is absolutely the lightest rod that I own. no doubt. It is absolutely the lightest fishing rod that I own in my arsenal. I own Zodius. I own IMX Pros. I own regular NRX. This is absolutely the lightest rod that I have ever owned in my entire life. I'm going to be pairing this up with a Shimano X-Sense reel in the 3000 series. It's going to be the highest end combo that I've ever had in my hands in my life as far as in my boat. NRX plus 625, X-Sense 529. We're looking at a $1,250 combo after taxes. It's, you know, I can't say this enough, but I'm able to do this stuff and buy these things and really fish with really high-end equipment. It's because of you guys out there that watch my show, share and promote my content, and get my word and my name out there. This stuff, this rod was actually purchased with some of my YouTube money from last year. So this thing actually, you know, is from you guys. It's a gift from you guys. So I appreciate you guys very much watching my content and sharing the stuff. You guys will be seeing a lot more about this rod right here. This is an 822 SYR, which is a shaky head rod. One thing that I've noticed that they put the hook keeper below the reel seat. I don't know how I'm going to like that, but we'll see. One of the things that somebody pointed out on my actual video that I made about the NRX Plus the other day is that there's no skeleton fish on this rod anywhere. None. Zero. Like even on the Loomis packaging here, there's nothing that has the skeleton fish on it. I was told by Drew Sadler, my rep from Shimano, that they are actually trying to get away from that brand. Yeah, Missy's correct. She won a contest. Guessed the weight of a fish dead on, and she's like, "Oh, cool! I'll send you some X-Zone lures," and never showed up. You're right, man. I like Seth Fider a lot. He is a northern guy, but I tell you what, he catches a lot of largemouth now. He's like, his skills have definitely upgraded in the past. Yeah, Herb, man, no problem. I'll let you use anything I got, buddy. But yeah, sure, we'll go fishing. And you can use the NRX Plus. And I'm gonna have an X-Sense on this thing. Again, it's a $540 reel. I'm going to the tackle box probably tomorrow to pick this thing up. I can't wait to get this thing on here. You guys will get a full rundown as I fish with it the first time on the water. And again, NRX Plus, the difference between that and the regular NRX is that you're getting the CI4 carbon infused reel seat, which is a brand new reel seat for the NRX. Normally they had their own reel seat on there, and this is actually the Shimano side of the line coming into there. And another thing you're getting is the Spiral X wrap, which causes the spiral tape to wrap around the Loomis blank, which gives it more structural rigidity. Yep, I went there. We went into the engineering world for a second. Structural rigidity, it just means that it's going to be more sturdy and it's going to be more stiff as far as like, I use stiff. It's not stiff. It's more, the graphite has a higher modulus, which means it's going to snap back quicker. The action is going to be a lot faster. But I'm going to go with the X-Sense 3000. I don't know if you guys have ever seen an X-Sense, but I call it the Batmo reel. If I can't pull up an image of it. There's the X-Sense. Again, I call it the Batmo reel. Super high quality. Love this thing a lot. Super nice. All matte black finish. Shows the gear ratio there on the handle. And you can see the price point there, $569.99. Like, I can't thank you guys enough. Again, spent some of my YouTube money on this thing, and it is absolutely the highest end rod I've ever owned. And I don't see it getting any better. I wanted to buy a Stella, but I couldn't quite pay that $700 price point for a reel. I'm sure they're phenomenal, but I'm actually selling a rod and reel combo to purchase this rod or this reel, which makes it Man, I might. Sounds like a great time. I'll have to see. I'd like to. Paint Creek, I like it a lot. Should be a pretty good time. Maybe I'll see what's going on. Maybe I'll get Josh to come up fish, or Misty if she's off. Maybe we'll come up and fish with you guys. I would love to. But the Xsense Reel is going to be a phenomenal addition to the NRX Plus. By the way, if you're looking for an NRX Plus, other than spinning rods, because Greg doesn't have any right now, if you want a casting NRX Plus, he has several in stock up there now. I think he's got 6 or 7 of them in stock. You can stop up there and check them out. If you want to see my video on YouTube talking about, my first impression of the NRX Plus, it's on my channel, youtube.com/OnAnotherLine. You can check it out there. So quick update on my boat. Everything seems to be going there really well. As far as the lower unit, everything's good to go. Ran it for 4 solid days in Lake St. Clair. Everything's good to go, I hope, on that thing. So Freedom Outdoors, shout out to those guys for getting me taken care of up there. Speaking of which, tonight's show brought to you by Odyssey Batteries. Odyssey Batteries has been a show sponsor for about 3.5 years now. And Odyssey Batteries are the absolute beast of the battery market for marine batteries or any batteries that you need. I run the PCM 2150s. They have a crap ton of cold cranking amps, stupid amounts. But they are a universal battery. They're like a deep cycle battery, but they have enough cold cranking amps to also be used as a cranking battery. Again, I have 3 PCM 2150s in my boat right now, Odyssey battery. I'm going to be upgrading to an Ultrex soon, but I think I'm going to be getting the 80-pound Ultrex and not going to that 100+ pound thrust 36 volt. Right now, my boat is limited with space, and I would have to add another 31 series PC 2150 Odyssey battery. Which these batteries are not lithium, guys. They're not lithium. They're not super, super light. But the cool thing about Odyssey batteries is they use virgin lead for all their batteries, which means they can make thinner lead plates in the batteries, which allows for more power packed into the same footprint of a 31 series battery. But again, they've been affiliated of the show for about 3.5 years now, and I do believe that I will never be stranded on the water again with my Odyssey batteries. Some of the pros that are using the Odyssey batteries are getting 10+ years out of a set of batteries. Are they a little more expensive than other batteries? Sure. You're going to pay about $500 a battery. So right now I got $1,500 worth of batteries in there. If you think of that, or you compare that to lithiums, when most batteries, as far as lithiums, are about, $1,000 a piece, so you're going to have, anywhere from 3,000 to 4,500 bucks in a lithium series between 36 volt batteries. I am super happy with my Odyssey batteries. Thank you, Odyssey, for being a sponsor of the show. If you're looking for a battery, check out the Odyssey battery PCM 2150. All right. Lake St. Clair trip was amazing. Stopped at Lake Erie, did some walleye fishing with Get Hook Charters, Captain Chuck Dotson, Scott Mowry. They put us on the meat. Myself, my Uncle Keith, my cousin Josh, Josh's brother-in-law, Jamie, my dad and Dusty Smith fished out of the boat. We actually went out and absolutely put a hammer on some walleye, some big fish. We came back with about I think it was 2.5 gallon bags of fish fillets a piece between 6 of us, which is a ton of fish. I like to eat walleye. My dad loves to eat walleye. And a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about walleye fishing, or any kind of fishing for that matter. I was made aware of it last year, but I don't know that I've talked to you guys about it, or maybe you don't know about it. According to the people there, Chuck and Scott Mowry, you cannot zipper fish at a fish cleaning station. For example, if you go to we clean fish at Fenwick. Fenwick is right there around Turtle Creek, and it's actually, I guess it would be west of Port Clinton, Ohio. But we've cleaned fish there. Normally, we would take a knife and cut on both sides of the center of the fillet, and you can actually pull them apart, and you get this like a bone strip out of the center of the fillet. You're not allowed to do that by law anymore unless you're at your own physical residence. You go home and you cut those things out and you zipper them, that's totally fine. However, the DNR has to have a full fillet for them to see how many fillets that you have in a bag in your possession limit, because you're only allowed 6 per day, and that's the reason that's there. So if you're cleaning any kind of fish at a public cleaning station or you're not at your public residence, you might want to leave those things in whole fillets in case you get stopped by DNR. They want to see the actual the whole fillet of how many you have. Let's see here. We were trolling for walleye in Lake Erie. I actually got to be first mate on a trip, my very first time ever. We fished Friday morning, all of us. Saturday morning, I was first mate on Chuck's boat on the Hoosier Hooker boat. Went out, done some first mating, met some awesome people. They had a really good time. I had a blast with those guys. They had Corey Weaver says Zaldane. Zal Dangerous is awesome pick anytime. But anyway, I met these guys from Indiana. They were from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and they told me when I got on the boat, they were packing a cooler full of beer. I was like, you guys are here for a great time. Like, yeah, obviously, we're going to have a great time. We had a good conversation. And one guy says, Tyler, look, here's the deal. We can't start drinking beer until we catch the first fish. I said, okay, I'll see what I can do to help you guys out. And then I said, does it have to be a walleye? And they all unanimously said no immediately. I said, all right, we'll get you caught up. So, we were catching fish within the first probably 12 minutes of having the lines out. And if you've never done long line trolling for walleye or any fish, it's an absolute blast, but man, is there a lot of work that goes into it. Autopilot is a big thing for fishing boats like that, staying on lines where you think fish are going to be. If you are working back there in the back and you don't have a first mate and you're a captain and you want to go back and help put lines out or whatever, autopilot is definitely it's a necessity. So we run planer boards. Planer boards are attached to the boat on the hardtop by 800-pound test braided line. Goes out to the planer boards, and what that does is that keeps the boat's in the center, and it basically creates this line of it's almost like a clothesline that goes out to those planer boards, and the planer boards keeps that line tight. Using clips and specialized clips, you actually run the clips out with rubber bands attached to the line at a specific depth or a specific feet from the reel. And the crankbaits that you're throwing out there or trolling dive to a certain depth. It's actually called long line trolling. You're not using any kind of mechanism to get it down there in a hurry. It would be like you making a cast that far and being able to reel it in the same way all the time. It's going to get those lures down to the same depth. You're making a swipe across a giant amount of water. We were running 18 lines at one point. It was crazy. We were running let's see, was it? Yeah, we were running 8 lines off of each side with reels and rods. So that was 16, and we had 2 downriggers running spoons. So we had 18 lines out. You can run 3 rods per fishing client that you have on a trolling boat like that in the state of Ohio. We started catching fish. The first hour was really, really fire. We caught about 12 fish in the first probably 45 minutes. We had fish flopping in the bottom of the boat. Couldn't even get them in the cooler because they were coming in the boat so quick. And then it just shut off. So I don't know what was going on with that. Yep, Kyle, that's the deal. So they use line counter reels. So let's just so what you do is, let's say that we were running rattle tots, which is a huge lure in Lake Erie right now. Rattle tots are made by Storm. They're no longer made. They were made for a little while, but they were not as good as the old ones. Rattle tots right now are about anywhere from $25 to $30 a piece when you can find them, and they have many of these. These charters, especially Chuck and Scott, they have a couple hundred of these things on the boat at any given time. So we were running, rattle tots back at 45 and 50 feet. So we would set the line counter to 0. We would put the lure in the water, let it go out to 45 or 50 feet. And then you take a rubber band, a whole rubber band, and you do the kind of like the loop thing that you did when you were a kid to wrap it around your finger. You just kind of like wrap it around and pull the one end of the rubber band through itself to create that like that cinch. And then you have that line tie at 50 feet or whatever. And then you put like a clothesline on that rubber band and let it go down the planer board. And that rubber band creates what's known as a snubber effect, which is basically a shock absorber. So if a fish hits that thing really hard, it takes that rubber band and stretches it out, pulls it off of the clip, as opposed to hitting that thing and busting the 8-pound test or the 15-pound test Power Pro that they're using. So again, we have 18 rods at the time. Absolutely started smoking fish, 12 fish in a boat within the first hour, and then they shut off. And it took us about another 2 hours to get their limit, but we ended up getting 30 fish for those guys. I went back and cleaned those things for the client. Little, there we go, back now. But Chuck Dotson and Get Hook Charters brought back to the docks in, let's see, 2, 4, 6, or 7 charters. They brought back over 200 walleye to the dock, which is unheard of. Amazing stuff. If you're looking for a charter captain on Lake Erie and you want to go up and catch some fish, get a hold of Chuck Dotson, Scott Mowry. Let me grab Chuck's phone number here and I'll put it on there. So there it is. Get Hooked Charters. If you're looking for a charter captain on Lake Erie, this is Chuck Dodson's phone number. You can also get a hold of Scott Maurer. You can look him up on Facebook, Get Hooked Charters. 419-295-4744. Those guys will put you on the meat. Had a great time fishing with those guys. I had an even better time spending time with my dad and friends and family over the past 8 days. It was an amazing time. You guys are going to be seeing some really cool videos on my YouTube channel over the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that. So, dude, I would much rather catch fish drifting. That's my deal. I'd like to go out and catch them drifting, but sometimes I'm there for I'm not there for a long time. I'm there for a good time. If I go for a week or something, I don't care to go out and drift fish for them because I know I'm going to catch them eventually. But this way, man, like seriously, if the fish are on fire and you get on them right, we put 42 fish in the boat in like 3 hours one day. That's unheard of. So that's why I consistently book Chuck and those guys. But I'm with you. I would much rather drift fish for walleye because I like to feel them bite. But it's all about filling the freezer for this time of year. And that, oh my gosh, man. This week is taking it out on me. 8 days of fishing will do that to you. Guys, we're about a 53-minute mark. I appreciate you guys joining. I'm going to cut this thing off just a little early today because I'm going to sit here and try to do some editing on this week's video for the YouTube channel and get it out so you guys can see that tomorrow. But got a couple of guesses here. Dusty Smith says Stetson Blaylock. Kyle Maddox is going with Seth Fighter. We have Corey Weaver says that Zal Dangerous is going to win the Classic. Dude, that's awesome, David. So you got the captain for Wayne Pioneer Juniors, Branson Day and Carson Dick. Managed a 4th place in Big Bass and Ravenswood this weekend. Super awesome, man. Thank you for donating your time to do that for those kids. I'm sure they like it. I've met Carson before personally. Super nice guy. That's awesome. That's what it's all about. So congratulations to you boys out there, and you guys continue doing the hammer thing and catching the fish, and go out there and take my entry money eventually. I'm really good at donating that stuff. But thank you, David, for sharing that information. Oh, JB's Fish Sauce, man. That's right. That's awesome. So Dusty and I were having a conversation about up at Lake St. Clair. Does JB's Fish Sauce really work? Is it a gimmick? And I told him, it's like, I don't know. But I tell you one thing, I'm not going to go fishing without it. It definitely didn't hurt our chances. And eventually, throughout the day, we were both using it more and more because I was gaining that much more confidence, especially in the pinch of garlic. We're using a ton of it. We used it really, really religiously over at during St. Clair trip this past week, and absolutely had a ball. If you guys are looking to get your hands on some JB's Fish Sauce, jbsfishsauce.com. If you use the code OALL, that is the letter O, on Another Line Live 20, that will save you 20% off on anything that you order from jbsfishsauce.com. And again, guys, this is not a paid promotion. I get the opportunity for them to carry a signature blend of mine, which is pinch of garlic. It is a signature blend of a specific amount of JB's Fish Sauce garlic and JB's Fish Sauce. I can't even really get you guys to see it. This is pinch of garlic. It's got a certain amount of their crawfish scent and a certain amount of their garlic. My buddy Kyle, that you guys see on my YouTube channel all the time, actually come up with the name of this thing, Pinch O Garlic, which works out really. It's a really cool name. I really like it. But it does have my logo on there. I definitely endorse it. But again, this is not a paid endorsement, so you're not going to say, well, he's just using it because he gets paid to do it. That's not the truth. That's not the case at all. jbsfishsauce.com, OALL20 on Another Line Live 20. Will save you some dough on your JB's Fish Sauce order. Again, you'll be seeing a video coming very soon of the new X-Sense on the NRX Plus. I'll give you guys the lowdown on that. Herb, if you want to get together and fish with my stuff, anything I got, you're more than absolutely welcome. I'll have to put that on my schedule for the 19th to come up here, hopefully fish with you guys in Paint Creek. Maybe I can get Misty to join if she doesn't work, and we could both fish that day. She's never really fished a tournament with me. She fished a husband and wife with Lawrence County, which is coming up very soon. I think they're having that. I think that's the same weekend that you guys are doing that. They're fishing East Lynn on Saturday for the one of the other Saturday or Sunday. One of them is the actual club tournament. The next day is the husband and wife tournament. That is at East Lynn. So like to see come up to Paint Creek fish with you guys. You never know. You may see me. Kyle, thanks for joining in, man. As always, I appreciate it. Guys, I appreciate you guys joining in. We're about that 47-minute mark. I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna do some editing here on a video. Hopefully, you guys will see that tomorrow evening being released. Again, first day of Lake St. Clair. We'll be talking about that as we go on. You guys will see many videos coming up with that. Myself and Misty are gonna go fishing at some point, probably Friday this week. Go out and do some fishing. Grayson. I haven't been to Yatesville one time this year. Hard to say. It's weird, but I haven't been there. But we're going to do some fishing. But stay tuned on some new videos coming out for the YouTube channel very soon. I'd appreciate it if you guys haven't subscribed. If you would, right now, about 70 or 2,779 subscribers, I think, as of this morning. Let's see. Make sure I'm not lying to you. I am lying to you. 2,776 subscribers, which is a great deal. I appreciate it very much. We will see you guys around. If I see you on the water and you want to hang out and you want to use some of my equipment, hop on the boat, go swimming, whatever you want to do, holler at me, we'll do it. If you want to go fishing in my area, let me know. We'll do that as well. I do have a lot of cool Shimano G Loomis rods you can try out before you buy them. I do have them. That's the reason that I'm part of their quote-unquote pro staff, is to get their products in your hands so you can see if you want to buy them or not. If you're looking for anything, make sure you get up to the tackle box in South Point, Ohio, because if they don't have it, you don't need it, or they can get it for you. Guys, appreciate you sticking around for this episode of On Another Line Live. We'll see you next time. If you can, get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line.